Okay, so lawn reno day has finally arrived here at Rusty HQ. We've got the back lawn and the front lawn to do today. A total of 140 square meters. Luckily I've got Janelle here to help me for the first half of the day anyhow. I have recently just purchased a new utility mower, the old BigBob by Superswift. And hopefully I can go a little bit easier on me Model 45. And this here can do all the hard yards. So let's not muck around, let's get into it. It's pretty gross at the moment. Definitely a lot to take off. This is the worst of it. So we're going to take this all the way down to the dirt. We're going to start off with the Verti-cutter, do a couple runs with that. Then we'll follow over that with the BigBob and just keep going. Alright, so a little trick I like to do before I start filling the trailer up with all the old grass. I get my tarp and I place it in there before I start filling it up, and you'll see why when we get to the end. That's one quick pass. Just fluffed it up nicely. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, so that's the first going over with the Verti-cutter. It always seems to get a lot thicker in this area here, a lot more material to take off. Now it's time to try out the old Superswift for the first time. That is the first rotary mower I've owned in like 5 years. I do all my renos and everything with a cylinder mower. I know it's not ideal, but that's all I had, so that's what I did. So let's see how it goes. I've got high hopes for this thing. Janelle's going to start raking it up and chucking it in the barrow as we go. How you going there? Grass clippings aren't agreeing with Janelle apparently. The old Superswift goes alright. Pretty happy with it so far. A good little buy. Still got a long way to go though. We'll definitely do a couple more runs over that with the Verti-cutter and get that down quite a lot more yet. we're getting a little bit closer to where we need to be. I'm thinking we might rake this slot up and then I'll keep going with it just to get rid of the most of it. Must admit, I'm pretty impressed with the new big block. She goes well. That's what I'm looking for. Another cleanup. That's definitely the difference of not doing a mini renovation in the middle of the last growing season, because that's thick. There's a lot there. Alright, so that's the back lawn done. Put the sprinkler on it now while we go empty that first load of clippings out. Soften it up a bit, ready to core it. We ended up getting a fair bit off the back lawn. Had to put a bit in the back of the ute as well. And we've still got the front lawn to go. So I'll get the sprinkler on that back lawn, go empty the ute, come back, make a start on this one, and then we'll probably be coring and top dressing late tonight, early tomorrow morning. So we tucked that in earlier. Wind can't get under it. works a treat. Do the same thing when you go and get your top dress or anything. You just got to chuck a couple of straps over the end. There you have it. Alright, I thought I'd add, I generally don't verti-cut this part when I do my reno because it's quite a bit thinner because of the shade over winter. So I sort of just come to this line, maybe just scalp it a little bit, but that's about it. Also, I have got irrigation in this lawn, but I have left them low enough under the ground that the verti-cutter doesn't bother them. So I just run straight over the top of them, no damage, so we'll get into it. Turned old Big Bob up to give her a clean. Them blades were brand spanking new before I started. She goes alright, I'm impressed. Alright, so that's going to do us for today. Come back in the morning, core it and top dress. Alright, so it's the next day. We've gone and got rid of all the grass clippings. I've run over the front and back lawn again with the verti-cutter. The weather is absolutely terrible, so hopefully we get it done before we see any rain. Top dressing is no good when it's wet. I've made this earlier in the year for a mate, and I've kindly asked him to borrow it so both Janelle and I can get into it today. If you want to see that video, go and suss that out. We'll chuck the link in the description. And yeah, I probably could have got a little bit more water on here. It's a bit hard in spots, but we'll just see how we get on. won't have to go to the gym today.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
Yeah, good.
Blisters?
Yeah.
Oh, it wasn't too bad. So it was about an hour. That's alright, pulled some pretty good cores. Might just rake that stuff in. Doesn't seem to be any rocks or anything in it. When we started this lawn, this was all gravel. And we dug it all out, but there was still a fair bit of gravel in amongst it all. So generally when I core it, I like to get rid of the plugs just so I get rid of any of them little rocks that are in amongst it as well. But I'm not sure there's too much in here. Seems pretty good. All right, we're gonna rake it up, get rid of it, just in case there is some bits of gravel left in it. Easier. We've got plenty of sand, so we'll rake it up, get rid of it, and then top dress. All right, here comes the rain. This here's a little bit wetter than I would like, but here's what it is. So here we go. Oh, that's frustrating. All right, so it's well and truly raining now. So here we go. Now, I whipped this up a few years ago. Silly me, thinking bigger was better. Turns out that's not the fact, because this is just a heavy pain in the ass, but nevertheless, it's gonna do the job, so I'll make a better one of these days. Alrighty, so we pumped that out pretty quick. I'm thinking we're only in for about a few mil, aren't we?
I think, yeah.
I'm thinking I'm just gonna chuck some fertilizer down here real quick. Now I do have some fertilizer by Anderson's, some real fine stuff. Now I can't see the point in using it at this stage. It costs a little bit more. I would rather save it for when I'm mowing the lawn low. So I've got a bit of this 2-spec here. I think it's still a mini prill actually. Yeah, 2-spec mini. Poor dog. But it is a lot smaller than the other stuff. But it is still quite coarse. I find it too coarse personally for sort of real mowing the lawns sub 12, 10 mil. I don't know what other people think of that, but it just seems to sit on top and you end up burning it. So, but for earlier in the season, I think it works a treat, and it's a little bit cheaper. All right, so it says here we need 2 kilograms per 100 square meters. Now we've got 70 square meters at the front here, at the back here, and another 70 at the front. So I'd usually do both at once, but unfortunately the weather's getting in the way of that. So 70 square meters, so that's 1.4 kilograms. All right, make sure we're on the right measurement. Kilograms or grams, whatever you prefer. Zero it. Why isn't that doing its thing? So we don't calculate the jug. Close enough to a kilogram. 1 kilo into the modified Scott spreader. Best thing I ever did to this. I really did not like this thing beforehand. Anyone that knows, knows. That's close enough to 0.4. See how much is left in there. That's all that was left in the bottom of the spreader. I think I did one little bunny hop. So much better. Not to mention, I reckon we had it set perfect. Went one way in each direction and landed on empty. Well, that's a wrap. We got it done. We didn't get the Acelipryn down. Plenty of time for that, I guess. Is what it is. Hopefully finish off the yard in the next couple of days, I guess, the front yard. And yeah, that's it. Can't help the weather. Let's get out of here.
Sounds good to me.
See you later.
Bye.